So Derek, we have just watched the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Direct. This is the Switch's second mainline Mario game, I guess, and it looks absolutely wonderful. What was the standout thing for you in that presentation?
I mean, I think it was just the general vibe. I think that there's a real sense of something for everyone in this game. If you want it harder, you have that option. If you want it easier, you have that option. You want a special challenge, it's there. If you want to play with friends locally, you can. You can kind of play with friends online in a different way. But the more I think about it, yeah, it's actually you can't play them in the direct way like in offline, but it's also almost better in a way if you just want to have that pure platforming experience and not have to worry about griefing or getting in each other's way or what have you. I don't know. I like that they seem to have looked at Mario from all angles and decided what they wanted to kind of embellish on. Like, what do we make better? How do we expand upon this? And just everything has been made better, I think.
Like, if you asked me before this game were announced, like, what would my ideal 2D Mario game be? I would tell you I want a different art style. I'd say I want the ambition to match the 3D games. I'd want cooler multiplayer. I'd want some kind of more characters, just more ideas in general, and it just ticks everything. This is exactly what I wanted. It looks stunning. Like what we were saying earlier during the reaction, but they keep zooming in really close on the display, and you're in real gameplay, you'll never see it like that. But they are so proud of how expressive and clean their models are that you can zoom in 400%, and it still looks incredible. And there's so many scenes where there was one where they're on the overworld map, and you just get this view into the distance, and it just manages to look stunning. I think the Switch may be showing its age from a hardware standpoint, but this year we've had such beautiful games like Prime Remastered, and now Mario Wonder, and it just feels like they're somehow just squeezing more juice out of this system.
Squeezing more juice or finding some way to use that juice in different ways that you wouldn't expect to just get those beautiful art styles, because Tears of the Kingdom doing what it does on the Switch is amazing. It really shows that Nintendo's become a master of their craft on this system, and just these new developers and these new ideas coming in, and really it feels like the new guard is starting to take over.
That's absolutely it. Yeah, this definitely feels like a game made by younger developers. And it's not just developers too. The voice actors are also sort of handing over the torch. It sounds like Daisy might still be the same. She did a little Wowee Zowee elephant voice clip at one point. I'm pretty sure that's the same old Daisy. But yeah, we're going to have to wait a bit longer to figure out who is voicing Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, I think they said wait till credits or something like that, but I'm okay with that. I'll play towards credits and see what happens and what we get. But yeah, I like how much is new. There's a sprinkling of old in here. We got some classic enemies at times, or variations on those classic enemies. They'll pop up here and there, and even the power-ups. We have it's all about the new. Here's the new enemies. Here's the new power-ups. It's not just a bunch of old standbys. It's you get the classic Fire Flower, and then 3 new power-ups with the elephant, the drill. Well, I guess drill's kind of old, but still reinterpreted. And then Bubble, which I think, honestly, Bubble might be the most exciting for me.
It's very cool. Yeah, it's multi-purpose. You can use it to sort of break through walls and get enemies on the other side. But I think the coolest utility is using it like a platforming guide. You can put an enemy in a bubble, use that bubble to jump and get to a higher platform. Super cool, yeah. And the drill, we were saying also there's a lot of Metroid in here. The drill is very much like the spider ball from Metroid 2. They've also got a grapple hook in there. They've got an enemy that falls from the ceiling like a drill. It's some strange Metroid influence, but it's great to see. The drill's one of the more interesting ones, I feel. So in Galaxy, it was kind of a slow utility. You use it to just sort of dive from one side of a sphere to the other. And it was always just you had to stop to use it. Whereas here, you are in this constant flow. You can go underground instantly. You can latch to the ceiling. It just feels like there's some really, really cool use for that stuff. And the badges are also little power-ups in themselves, like having the grapple hook, not being able to stop running, or bouncing on lava. It just feels like there's so many extra uses here.
I'm impressed by how much it seems they've taken from the Mario RPGs. They said badges. I'm like, wait, like Mario, like Paper Mario and all that. I was like, wait, what? And kinda in a way like that, just making sense for more platforming elements, and the fact that it doesn't take place in the Mushroom Kingdom again. We got the brand new Flower Kingdom, which I think gives them the excuse to just do something new. I think I think that's the big thing here is like we always hear about it's like no we want to stick with the old standbys, the old stuff. We're not allowed to go beyond. We hear that constantly for like Paper Mario. But for platforming, apparently, it's like no, go crazy, show whatever you want, have a ton of variety and new ideas. I came away from this genuinely impressed. Like I was already excited for the game. I was like, yeah, it's Mario. I'm gonna pick it up. It's gonna be fun. This looks like potentially one of the best Mario games in a long time.
Yeah.
Probably more specifically 2D, because you have to separate 2D and 3D Mario at this point. They play so differently. But as far as 2D Mario, this might be the best one since Mario World.
Absolutely. Like, it feels like every time the screen scrolls, there is something new to see. If you just watch the Direct and just skip around, you're going to see something new with each click. There was an underwater scene at one point, and usually in Mario, all underwater scenes have bloopers and cheap-cheeps. This one, though, they had completely new enemies, and I can't even recall the last time a Mario game went underwater with something new. It's probably Mario 64 with the eel. I think that's literally how long it's been since there's been something different underwater.
I think so. Maybe there's like spike enemies that like I don't even know. But yeah, it's been a while for sure. You're just sort of used to it, and just in every area there's something new and interesting to look at. And I don't know. I just came away from this so impressed, so excited, and I as you've mentioned before, the multiplayer is kind of Dark Souls-ish, which is funny because you're so used to saying Dark Souls as in it's so difficult. It's like, no, it's not that. It's the multiplayer, the online element to it, where you have the ghosts and the what other players are doing at any one time. And I can see that being extremely distracting, just having all these people run all around a stage and being like, I'm not so sure. But then you have that heart system. I'm like, dang it, you get to show off how many hearts you have and show off how helpful you were, and you get these special standees that you can place to help other players and see how much they get used, and you can buy new standees, and like there's a shop where you can get extra stuff. Like there's a little something for everyone, and I think that's what I'm coming away most impressed by.
Yeah, like multiplayer in Mario is like always fun with an asterisk. It's fun in a chaotic way. Like it's fun to bump into each other. It's fun to just sort of like fight for the crown in 3D World, but it's never good though. It's always like you're getting in the way of each other. You're not really helping each other out. Whereas this, they really have found a way to find that balance. Like when you're playing locally, you all share a life count, but if a player dies, they go into like that ghost mode, and the life doesn't go if you're able to save them in like 5 seconds. Like kind of similar to the bubble in Yoshi's Island. It's that kind of idea. And that's such a cool way. Like if you ever played like New Super Mario Brothers with someone who doesn't usually play games, which was very common for the Wii game, that person would just lose their lives in seconds. Like you'll save them in the bubble, they'll come out, they'll die again.
Or you'll tell that person, just stay in the bubble for now.
yeah, exactly. And that's like condescending. It's not fun. And this is just the fix for that, because you're not going to be going through your lives if the more skilled player is going to be actually helping you, rather than being a hindrance to you. Like even if like the more skilled player might also be running away and making the screen pull the other player, and that's not fun either. But now there really is more of a cooperative element to it, and you can do that with strangers as well. With the ghosts, you can help each other, you can save each other, leave checkpoints for each other. It just feels more clever, more community driven, and that's also like really going to bolster replayability, because your experience of a level will be different depending on who the person you're playing with is accomplishing as well. It just feels so smart.
Yeah, and not just with random people. There's also, you can create a room, and yeah, you can't play directly with them, but you can invite a bunch of people in and race each other. And I don't even know if they didn't show a limit, but it's like, hey, let's all race through World 1-1 or whatever, and just see how far we can make it, who's fastest or whatever. Like, that's That's really smart. It honestly seems to be designed in this age of YouTube and content creators and community-driven stuff where you got this one person with a lot of followers and be like, hey, you want to play together? Jump in here and we can play together through this level, kind of all indirectly, rather than just like, all right, I got to pick 3 of you and maybe get to play a little bit. Right.
Like the bummer to that is that there isn't traditional co-op. You can't just play the whole game together. But we've tried that before, and I think I've had good experience playing 3D World with like one other person. But when you get like a full room together with 4, especially when you're all around the world, it's rarely stable. So I would have liked the option to just be there, even if it didn't work very well. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But I think making them indirect ghosts, there's no like collision needed. There's no reason to always be syncing up in the same way that you would need to in traditional co-op. So like, I can see this being really seamless. I can see this working really well, which overall is probably a win, and it sounds clever too.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to. Is it's maybe not what you want exactly, but it does it well enough that you're willing to make that sacrifice. I think it's like, okay, I see what you're going for here, and I'm okay with it.
And the longevity's there too. Like when you're playing co-op, it's friend driven. You've got to get your friends together. Some players may never even do it because they don't have the friend group there for it. Whereas this, you can pretty much just play with anyone. It's like a free-for-all. But you wouldn't want to do a free-for-all with a stranger for the whole game, because you don't know what they're going to play like, you don't know if they're going to stop playing midway through. Like this just feels like a good way forward, even if it would be cool to also have the option to play with friends the whole way. But yeah. What's here is good, though.
Yeah. The one bit that I'm a little nervous about are the flowers.
Yeah, me too.
They feel like they're in a lot of places, and it's like, oh boy, are these guys going to be just way too chatty?
Yeah. They did like a little reel of the flowers, and they were everywhere there. But like throughout the most of the direct, they weren't there. So are they a toggle? Can we turn these flowers off?
They could either be a toggle, or maybe it's one of those things where they disappear and they don't have to worry about reactivating or something like that. I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna have to see this within the context of the game. Like maybe they're a joy. Maybe they're just this jollyful little creature, but. They look annoying.
I will say I'm very curious what our bosses are going to be, because that's one thing they did not show. The only boss we got to see is that wild-looking one with Bowser Jr. And I mean, I love the design. The art style was great. Didn't even really get to see much of what it actually looked like or what it pertained to. But the fact that Bowser became the castle, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
That could be a very wild final boss, and with if they're going off that idea of like the boss of each world has a wonder seed that they use to combine with something, I think we're going to get some very creative bosses throughout this game rather than the typical Koopalings and whatnot. And the World County also negates Koopalings.
Right. It's going to be very jarring comparing like a new Super Mario Brothers fight with Boom Boom to all these Wonder Flower battles. Like the scale, the idea is going to be completely different. Yeah, we saw that sort of Bowser Jr. looking one in the first trailer too. We saw like Bowser and Mario sort of swap sizes. Like one would shrink, one would grow. But I'm so up for just something new. Like the first new Super Mario Brothers had like supersized enemies, and like there was somewhat
it was novel.
Like, it was novel, but it wasn't like unique. And then it was just Koopalings where you jump on their heads. And I just can't wait for just original boss ideas, taking different ones down in different ways, having different gimmicks. Like, this is exactly what I've wanted for, I can't even tell you how long.
It's been years. It really has been. And then they're just like experimenting with different gameplay styles. Like they showed this simple Wonder Flower effects or Wonder Fruit effects for that first reveal trailer, where it's just like, it seems weird with the pipe crawling along, but no, we're going to change perspective sometimes. We're going to just really, any idea we can think of, we're just going to implement here for now.
The top-down one, like the Zelda 2D-looking one, was so cool. Like you actually, it's not just like a 2D left-to-right perspective. You can now just move everywhere on the screen like that. that was crazy. Yeah, it just feels like it can do anything. It can make the pipes move. It can make you into a ball. It can change how you move. Like, I feel like watching that direct, we didn't even see that much. I think like we still have bucket loads of Wonder ideas to see now. Which is that's the best part to come away from. If we came from this presentation feeling like we knew everything, it'd be kind of deflating because this game is about wonder, it's about discovery. So hopefully they don't spoil too much else. Don't pull a Kraid on us.
Yeah, please don't, please don't. I think I mean I'm pretty willing to guess that there's going to be at least one unlockable character by beating the game, just like 3D World.
Yeah,
a lot of possibilities for who that could be, or it could even be multiple. It's hard to say for sure, but even just like, I don't know, there has to be a reason getting all those seeds. Obviously you unlock new levels, but getting all of them, I feel like there might have to be some sort of reward as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm very curious, and I'm super excited to play. That's really.
It's probably the one thing I wanted to see more of is characters, because like we already have more than we usually do with Daisy and Yoshi, but I just kind of wanted more. And the one character that wasn't on the key art that we didn't know of was Nabbit, and I'm not going to play as Nabbit.
I'm not going to play as Nabbit. I'm amazed Nabbit's still a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool for little kids, but I think Yoshi kind of makes that Yoshi's more exciting than Nabbit.
Nabbit's if you want it to be easier, but not have a float.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I think, Rosalina's a candidate, Paulina's a candidate, Donkey Kong is a candidate. Hopefully one of those guys shows up, but, it's still cool to have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi, and Nabbit, and Toadette in a platformer. A lot of those characters have never been, well, at least Yoshi and Daisy have never been in a core Mario platformer as playable characters.
Yoshi is unique in the fact that he can actually, because he's a character this time around rather than just a ride, he can hold on to stuff. He doesn't just have to use his tongue the entire time and change it that way. He still plays typically, just has his Yoshi tongue and the float jump.
Yeah, and Yoshi can ride Yoshi. That's a first for the series, I'm pretty sure.
I love that they're making a big deal. It's like, look at Yoshi trying to attempt to carry Elephant Mario.
Yeah, and he's like his voice clip when he does the flutter jump with Elephant Mario on is different.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, what a cool looking game. We were saying this in our discussion, in the live reaction even. What game we're more excited for? Like what we prioritizing this October? Whether it's going to be Mario Wonder, Sonic Superstars, or Spider-Man 2. And I think most of the live audience and us sort of came to the consensus that Sonic Superstars and Spider-Man 2 are going to be good games, great games even. But they are sort of taking ideas that we've already played and iterating on them. Whereas Mario Wonder, Mario has never done this before. He's never been this interesting. He's never had this many different ideas. He's never taken it in this direction. So like this feels unmissable. Whereas, not to say Spider-Man 2 won't be, but this just feels like an event.
If you want a narrative game, Spider-Man's where it's at. But it's also, I think of this financially. Nintendo games don't really go on sale. It doesn't matter whether I get Mario now or later, I'm going to be paying the same price. Spider-Man and Sonic, I have a chance of getting it on sale a little bit later on. So I think that's also a big contributing factor for me, at least.
Yeah, Sonic will probably be half price by
Christmas.
Like January. Yeah. All right. Let's cut it there then. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Derek, is there anything else you want to say about Mario Wonder before we cut away?
Not really, other than just I'm looking forward to playing it for my son. Like he loves Mario right now. He was delighted by this direct, and I think it'll be fun to just see his reactions to all of this.
Yeah, totally. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, click that subscribe button. Why not just check us out forever? Press the bell as well and catch everything that we ever do. You can also support us on patreon.com/GVGaming, where we've got a few early videos coming up that you can watch very soon. There'll be one being posted in like a day, so you can check that out really soon. And also you'll get exclusive access to recordings that we're doing live before they go public, before they're even edited, and a bunch of other goodies. So please consider supporting us, but even if you don't, we appreciate the view. So thank you, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.